brought to you by
Uganda Telecom. It's all about you.
It is such a great pleasure to have you join us this evening. Hello, welcome to WBS Prime News Live. I am Anita Mwangazi. First a look at what's coming up.
I think I would also like to go back and do my private business and still remain to serve the party at the national level, at the Central Executive Committee.
Soroti Municipality MP Mike Mukula reveals he's quitting politics.
When you are a leader, most times you make it a sacrifice, and it is not easy, but it sets a good example.
Divisional mayors warned on good governance practices.
They are not sinking anymore because these piles are where we have been. They dug into the soil, got into the hard rock.
Work starts on Ginger Bridge. Minister calls for quality work.
This is a business venture with a business competition.
And FUFA in efforts to boost the game by radio station. It's so good to have you with us, and of course you can get us a live stream at www.wbs.ug/live-stream, and you'll get us there live. Starting us off, NRM Eastern Region Vice Chairman and MP Soroti Municipality Flight Captain Mike Mukula says he will be quitting elective politics in 2016 to concentrate on personal business. Speaking to WBS TV's Joseph Sabiti from his country home in Soroti, Mukula also opened up on life after a bitter experience in jail, his highs and lows on his political arena, and his life and plans after politics.
The setting is at the senior quarters in Soroti, at the home of Flight Captain Mike Mukula, who for years has stood out as the enigma of the politics of Teso, cutting out himself as the anchorman of the ruling National Resistance Movement Party that in the past received hostility from the region. This time he opens up on his political future as the waters heat up ahead of the 2016 general elections, with his posters sighted all over Soroti town. We ask him on what he will be up to in a few months from now.
I think I would also like to go back and do my private business and still remain to serve the party at the national level, at the Central Executive Committee.
For him, it is time to bow out of elective politics and parliament after what he calls making his contribution to the region and the nation.
When Kony attacked the region, I led my team or my people, the young people, including Musa Chweru and the team, Resu, and we're here to stand side by side with UPDF and our people to ensure that, yes, we defended the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda.
At a time when the region was hostile to the ruling party, Mukula says he derives satisfaction from knowing that he had played his role.
People were saying that Museveni was out to impoverish them. He was not going to disarm the Karamojong. It was a ploy. It was a ploy aimed at making sure that the region remains behind. It was an agenda of the national resistance movement. That is no more. I can now say that the people have been able to see for themselves.
Let's go home, okay? Let's go home, okay? No, you come on.
For a man whose political career saw him hit the highs and lows of the art, one cannot mention Mukula without mentioning the Global Fund saga that saw him spend weeks in prison as a convict before being freed by an appellant court. We ask him about that incident.
I'm happy that I was exonerated by the appellant court, and I'm also glad that, yes, I was able to learn a lot there is no doubt that in politics, this is what you expect. These are challenges of man on the political field. Either you go into exile, you are killed, or go to prison.
He says he draws his inspiration from others who paid high prices for their political beliefs.
People who I admire, like Nelson Mandela, he was able to wither jail for 27 years. Raila Odinga was in jail for many times, countless times. He's been in and out of jail.
And so as the curtains fall on his career, we ask him about his highs and lows as a legislator. First, the high.
I'm here. I'm the only NRM member of parliament in the 14 municipalities who is still here from the inception of multi-party dispensation, or from the time elective politics was carried out in 1996.
And when we ask him about the law, he expresses concerns about the quality of debate in the House and calls for the introduction of a bicameral legislature to check on the young, excited MPs.
The kind of debates we used to have, robust debates, in 1996 are no more, where you'd have members of parliament elucidating on issues for a longer period of time, so that the mind agility, the political agility of the mind would be vexed, it would be exercised. But now I see that you're given 2-3 minutes. Sometimes if you do very well, 5 minutes. I see that this is not adequate.
Mukula, however, is also remembered for his role in urging President Yoweri Museveni to seek a third term in 2004, only to fall out with him later when Mukula made public his intentions to seek the country's top office. Critics even say the announcement could have been the cause of his problems, with corruption accusations that saw him convicted and imprisoned, but later acquitted by an appellant court. Probably, the wind that swept the Soroti sports ground ushered in a new political dispensation in Teso that writes of talks of having their own run for the presidency, as Mukula openly declares he will back President Museveni for the presidency come 2016. Sabiti Joseph, WS Television, Soroti.
Thank you, Sabiti Joseph, for that report, and welcome back from Soroti. We now move to Jinja. The Works Minister, Engineer Abraham Biandala, has established that the Chinese construction company Zenita Hyundai, that was contracted by the Uganda government to construct the new Jinja Bridge, is behind schedule. However, his tour of the construction site also found out that much as the constructed, or rather contracted company may be behind schedule, it has upheld the specifications agreed on in the contract and has not tampered with the environment in accordance to the environmental impact assessment.
This is the new Jinja Highway Bridge that is under construction. It's estimated to cost the Uganda government 391 billion shillings at the time of completion. During the tour of the construction site by Works Minister Engineer Abraham Biandala, the Chinese company Zenith Hyundai, which won the tender to construct the bridge, was found to be behind schedule, in spite of the fact that on the site it has tried to maintain the specification of the plan as agreed on in the contract and not interfering with the environment.
They have put measures to catch up. They were slightly behind, but they have started catching up, and I have no doubt I have no reason to doubt what they have told me.
However, the contractors say they are experiencing many challenges, straining them to be steadfast as expected. Among the challenges being experienced by the contractor include hard rocks affecting the progress of the work, as well as increased water levels causing need for specialized diving work.
The right-hand side is just the situation of some firing, and the lower side of the right-hand side shows after all the firing was over, completed work.
Apparently, they have the jet machines in place to enable transport materials and other equipment. However, they plan to remove these equipment upon completion of the bridge. Peace Talemwa, the administration manager, says this was done to block the water sweeping away the needed materials on site and not spoiling the turbines.
We are going to do the piling works in water. Now, in order to do it in water, that equipment must be able to go there. That's why we are using a temporary jetty to be able to access. We are going to do the pylon works.
The bridge under construction is expected also to act as a tourist attraction upon completion.
Poor governance has been identified as one of the major challenges in Uganda. This was disclosed during the Division of Mayors meeting in Kampala. Mayors urged to look for ways forward in ensuring local governments at this level can improve service delivery.
The Divisional Mayors are meeting to discuss ways of improving services at LC3 level and share experiences to offer learning from each other. In a discussion session Wednesday, poor governance was seen as one of the challenges facing most leaders at this level. They were urged to lead their electorate without fear or favor.
Particularly the physical structure development. For example, the various roads that have been rehabilitated, newly constructed, others have been repaired using mainly resources generated by the KCCA.
Muruli also says there is need for work plans to guide activities and outputs, but also getting support from the people they lead.
You have noticed the redevelopment of public facilities like taxi parks. You've seen how the city has been reorganized by pulling down old, dilapidated structures and constructing modern structures that actually fit the situation.
The divisional mayors also need to have some legal knowledge to properly run their areas without acting illegally and exposing themselves to court processes. Some of them, however, say their area should not be compared to what happens in Kampala, as Kampala is far better than what is in other parts of the country.
As KCCA, we inherited over 130 cases, court cases. The Magistrates Court, High Court, Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court. All these cases, very complicated by the way. A number of them haven't been resolved.
The difference between a contribution and a sacrifice. When you are a leader, most times you're making a sacrifice. And it is not easy, but it sets a good example.
The Leadership Summit that ends Friday is aimed at engaging local governments for national transformation of cities and the country as a whole. Zamzam Siraj, WBS News, Kampala.
In other news now, the China Civil Engineering and Construction Corporation says it has withdrawn a legal suit filed against government so as not to jeopardize future prospects for construction projects here in Uganda. This is contained in reports from the Parliamentary Committee probing the standard gauge railway who are currently in China. The reports say this was revealed by Zhao Jinhua, the Senior Assistant President of China Railway Construction Corporation Limited, CRCC, in a meeting with the Parliamentary Select Committee on the Standard Gauge Railway, which is led by the Chairperson and Nachifuma County MP Honorable Kafero Sechitoleko. The meeting took place at the CRCC headquarters in Beijing, China on Tuesday, the 27th of January 2015. The China Civil and Engineering and Construction Corporation is a subsidiary company of China Railway Construction Corporation Limited. He added that after receiving a letter from the Ugandan Minister of Works about the suit, they asked their representatives to withdraw the case. The chairperson of the committee, Honorable Sechitoleko, wondered why CRCC as a parent company did not take interest in the Ugandan Standard Gauge Railway and sought to know the status of CRCC's ownership of CECC. Well, we're so glad you're still watching WBS Prime News Live. Let's have a reminder of our top stories. Soroti Municipality MP Mike Mukula reveals he's quitting politics. Divisional mayors warned on good governance practices. And work starts on the Jinja Bridge. Minister calls for quality work.
Boss man, you like the bike? This is what you're going to do. Download the OLX app. Take a picture of what you want to sell. Post it on OLX, meet the buyer, and get some serious cash.
OLX, everything sells.
Load the airtime knowing it's easy. You get it all back with Chizzy. All the airtime you spend, Chizzy. At the end of the month, Chicho, Chizzy.
1K, 2K, 5K,
Chizzy.
10K, 20K, 30K.
Chizzy.
Airtime you spend, did you fund it? Talk and talk with Chizzy.
Chicho, Chicho, Chicho.
Uganda Telecom's got something.
Get back your airtime with Chizzy from Uganda Telecom. Dial star 100 hash, select Chizzy and get the total amount you spend in a month refunded. This refund can be used for calls and SMSs to all networks for the next 30 days from Uganda's most affordable telecom service. Uganda Telecom. It's all about you.
Welcome back to WBS Prime News Live. President Yoweri Museveni is leaving nothing to chance as he reminds the West Nile of all the effort he has put into poverty eradication. The president listed his government's successes in PRDP, NADS and infrastructure development, among others. This as he launched the construction of Andibo Dam in Nebi district, expected to boost provision of piped water to several households.
President Museveni starts by attempting to speak the local language and uttering a handful of words, getting the locals thrilled. But soon enough, he returns to his economic empowerment agenda, seizing the moment to remind the locals of all his efforts in poverty eradication.
Through NADS, NUSAF, PRDP, there are a lot of programs aimed at getting the homes from poverty.
He then gives a lesson in good farming practice, condemning land fragmentation as detrimental to commercial farming.
He says, my children should divide my land equally, which means the land that was 3 acres will now become half an acre.
According to the Ugandan president, land fragmentation limits farming because the small acres cannot be used to grow enough for trade.
Now, once the land is half an acre, there are certain things you can no longer do in that land. Some of the activities, you need to do them on a big scale in order to get money out of them. For instance, let's take tobacco.
This as he commissioned the construction of Andibo Dam in Nebi district to cover Andibo Parish, Panyango Sub-County Nebi district and the Chanpi and Adieda parishes Oyam district. The water project will allow access to piped water to thousands of people in the area and to benefit economic projects at over 11 billion shillings.
Now, the nationwide vetting process for applicants to police cadet centers enters its second day with reports indicating huge numbers of applicants. However, many are being turned away for lack of qualification. After this exercise, police says it will embark on the recruitment of police constables, and those who could have missed the cadet positions can also apply for them. ACRO found out the situation in Barara and Kabale and filed this report.  'Report. 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 ' Fortunately, we cannot bring that story to you, but we'll now take a look at our top stories. Soroti Municipality MP Mike Mukula reveals he's quitting politics. Division of Mayors warned on good governance practices. And work starts on Ginger Bridge. Minister calls for quality work.
This is how we used to watch football on our small TV. But then we sold some of our stuff that we didn't use anymore on OLX and bought ourselves a big TV. Here is how it works. Download the OLX app, take a picture of what you want to sell, post it on OLX, meet the buyer, and get some serious cash.
OLX, everything sells.
That is it. Easy.
There's a new workhorse in town. The new Dutchfar Agrolax tractor from Dutchfar, Germany is now available at Spear Motors Limited. This tractor, with user-friendliness as standard, comes in 2x4 and 4x4 wheel drive with a 3-cylinder diesel engine characterized by outstanding performance and low fuel consumption. It's the ultimate workhorse that offers value for money. So pay us a visit today. Spear Motors Limited, plot M428 Nakao Ginger Road.
Have its business study in the public. What is important is that the objectives are for the development of the game.
Mago also explained that the radio, whose radius coverage is 80 kilometers, was a project passed by the FIFA General Assembly in Lira. The project comes after the World Football Body FIFA offered each of the 209 national federations a financial offer from the revenue fetched from the 2014 World Cup.
And there was a feasibility study that was done, and by the approval of FIFA, it is deemed that's a project that will be able to run and sustain itself.
He added that they have also already written to the Lands Ministry asking government to provide some land to which they can raise football facilities like playing grounds. He held regions like Soroti and Ntungamu who have already given it a green light. Meanwhile, Cranes coach Micho Sharadovi has been handed over the responsibility of preparing the U1-230 national team ahead of all African Games Championship qualifiers set for next month.
We have a selection committee which is headed by me as the chairman of the technical, Vidi Anyao and Philip Omonyi, with the help of the coaches.
Over 100 players have been summoned for CAF preparations and will go through several screening tests starting this Saturday. In the same line, FIFA has passed out strict rules on football club ownership and change of names.
As the law goes on, by next season, all clubs that would have registered within a particular location will not be expected to change that location when they are playing. The reason is we, as FIFA requires that even clubs which get promoted should play their games within the locality. And it's one way of promoting football all over Uganda nationally.
FIFA insists there will be no change of club names and playing venues, even when clubs change ownership.
Uganda Revenue Authority Football Club has summoned a squad of 24 players that will help them battle in the 2015 CAF Confederations Cup. Amongst them include 3 goalkeepers, 8 defenders and midfielders, and 5 strikers. URAFC is preparing for the first leg of the preliminary stage of the CAF Confederations Cup against Madagascar's El Gecko Plus, which will take place in Kampala on the 13th of February 2015 at Mandela National Stadium, Nambole. The winner will then play Orlando Pirates, South Africa, in the last 16 stage.
Choosing the number 1618 in light of the call that when you are handed over this office, you are tasked to collect 16% of the GDP.
I know we've been conceding so many goals and everybody thinks maybe it's because of the defense. Yeah, they may be right, but I think we always lose the game up front. So I thought when those people who can really hold the ball for a long time, if we don't lose the ball, we can't really concede. So that's why we brought on Semakula Noah and Yasa Mugera. I think they will help the team.
Participated in the creation of URAFC. All the way from when it was being formed, Luwero, even before Luwero, Liantonde, all that. Really, URAFC is inside me and I support it and make sure that we shall succeed. So it is now our job to prove to everyone else that even though there is a change in leadership, it doesn't mean that the club collapses.
Well, that's the sports. Do stay with us now for a summary of today's news.
This is how we used to watch football on our smokes. Download the OLX app. Take a picture. That is it. Easy.
My name is Musa, your travel agent. I'm taking you around Africa, our motherland, a land gifted with beauty that flows right from Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. Our first destination will be Rwanda, a land of hills and beautiful ladies. Then Tanzania, the home to the great Kilimanjaro mountain. And Kenya, the Masai Mara home. If I may ask, anyone with more exciting sights?
Movitable jelly and Movitable soap.
That shows her love for quality African-made products. In fact, I move with Movit Herbal Jelly too.
My friends and I at Campus all use Movit Herbal products. As in, I even carried mine.
To have a good service, I first bathe with Movit Herbal soap.
You see, I gave the right answer. Even at home we use Movitable gel and Movitable soap. Me too.
Movit. All day confidence.
News Summary is brought to you by
Everybody use Movitable jelly. Movit is amazing. Moms and Movitable jelly. Movit is the best. Movit, all the confidence.
In our news summary, Soroti Municipality MP Mike Mukula reveals he's quitting politics. Divisional mayors warned on good governance practice. Work starts on Ginger Bridge. Minister calls for quality work. Chinese company withdraws case against Uganda in the railway deal. Applicants turn up for police officer cadet surprise force. And FUFA in efforts to boost the game buys radio station.
News Summary is brought to you by
Everybody use Movitable jelly. Movit is amazing. Moms and Movitable jelly. Movit is the best. Movit, all the confidence.
Well, thank you so much for your great company tonight. I am Anita Mwangazi. Good night.